Pico foot includes buttonhole centered itself and
Hey everyone, this is Sarah with SewingPartsOnline.com, and today we're going to go over some bobbin troubleshooting. But the first thing you need to know is that bobbins come in different sizes, or also known as different classes. And what you want to do is go to our website, go to the left-hand side, and you'll see a list of sewing machine makers. So for me, it'd be like a Brother. Then you want to go to the quick jump find little search bar, type in just the first few numbers or letters of your machine model, and your machine should pop up. Now, when you click on that page, you want to look for the bobbins, and it will tell you what class it is, and that's how you'll know the size for your machine. And that's really, really important, because if you're putting the wrong size in your machine, none of what we're doing is going to help. You have to make sure you're having the right size. And if you have different sizes, use like a permanent marker or something like that to distinguish between the two. Now, I have found with bobbins that 90% of the time, the problem is my tension. So it's usually too low, especially when I'm changing the stitch lengths. If you have a longer stitch length, you need to lower the tension. But if your stitch length is regular 2.5, you want to have it about a 3. But if you have it down to a 1, you're going to get that bobbin nest nastiness that we all hate, or you're going to get those weird loops on the bottom. So to troubleshoot that, what you're going to do is go to your machine and take off the needle plate. Sometimes you'll have to take it off with little screwdriver, but take off those screws, remove the whole bobbin plate, and while you're in there, go ahead and do a couple quick checks. Make sure that your bobbin is wound properly. You don't want any of those weird loops or unevenness on your bobbin, because that affects how it is fed with your machine. So make sure there's none of those snags in there. It needs to be nice and neat. Also, take a look at the lint situation. Is it really dusty in there? Is it nice and clean? And if it is dusty, go ahead with a paintbrush or with a lint brush and just dust it out a fair bit. It really is better in the long run. And once that is squared away, you can really tackle the problem, which for the most part is the bobbin case is off track. So if you can wiggle it around, or it looks like it's not on track, it needs to be reset. Take the bobbin case out, bring your needle to its highest position. The little cutout should be on the right-hand side. And you want to look for the little finger on the bobbin case, and you want to line it up to this front section right here. Now, when you have the bobbin case in, you'll hear a definite click. Once it's in correctly, it'll click. And then you can test this by moving your needle wheel up and down and see that thread go all the way around the bobbin case. Nothing gets stuck, everything moves really smoothly. Now all you have to do is adjust your tension setting a tad bit higher or a lot higher, depending on what your project is, and start sewing again, and you should be in the clear. Now, this is all assuming that you've threaded your machine properly and or using the right materials for your project. For instance, say you are sewing with like a Velboa or some kind of plush material or super, super light material. In those cases, the thread or the fabric can get stuck in the feed dogs, and that's not a bobbin problem. That's because you want to either switch out your needle plate or use some stabilizer. Same thing with threading your machine. You know, make sure that your presser foot is up while you're threading it through tension discs, and make sure that needle is in the highest position. Now, a little less common problem is the tension on the actual bobbin case. Now, there's a little screw on there, and mine's actually covered in a little green paint, that you can tighten to the right or loosen to the left. And I tighten it when I'm using elastic thread, but it's really simple. Just tighten or loosen and then see what happens, see if that fixes the problem, although that is not very common. Now, these demonstrations were based on a top loading machine, but if you have a bottom loading machine, that's okay. I'm going to leave a link in the comment section that'll tell you where you can go to look at how to adjust the tension of a bottom loading bobbin. It's really simple, but all the other principles are pretty much exactly the same. Now, if you need bobbins, we do sell them in bulk where you can get a discount on them. If you need anything else, just visit us on SewingPartsOnline.com, on Google Plus, or on Facebook at facebook.com/SewingPartsOnline.